I shouldn't be here, I said, placing the wine glass on his table. You're getting engaged tomorrow. Zion didn't flinch. He just leaned back on the couch, one arm draped casually behind me. It's not tomorrow yet. I laughed, but it came out more like a breath. That's a terrible line. Worked, didn't it? I shifted slightly, creating space, even though his shoulder still brushed mine. The apartment was dim, quiet, a little too warm. Maybe it was the wine. Or maybe it was him. I can't believe she's marrying you, I muttered, eyes on the floor. He looked at me sideways. Why not? Because you are, you. You say that like it's a crime. It might be, I smiled, but my chest felt tight. You're complicated. And Mira isn't. She's. I paused. She's better than us. There was silence for a second too long. He poured more wine into my glass, his fingers brushing mine. I felt it. I didn't pull away. Not then. You're not making a toast, he said. I don't feel like celebrating. Why? Not? His voice dropped, quiet, too careful. I turned my head to him. Because I know something she doesn't. He didn't ask what. He didn't need to. The air between us had already changed. I still think about that night, he said suddenly. My throat closed. Zion, you kissed me first. I was drunk. You weren't. His eyes held mine. You wanted to. I was grieving. I just lost my job. I wasn't thinking. You knew exactly what you were doing. His tone was low, almost soft. You still do. I tried to stand, but his hand was already on my thigh. Light it first. Then firmer. And don't, I whispered. He didn't move. Neither did I. Tell me you haven't thought about it since. I couldn't. My silence betrayed me faster than any words could. Zion leaned in, the space between us vanishing. His breath grazed my skin. You didn't stop me that night. I hated myself the next day. Did you? I blinked. You're marrying her. And you're pretending this doesn't exist. This shouldn't exist. Then leave, he said to my heart stuttered. Go ahead, he added, his voice steady. Walk away. I stood up. My hands trembled. You're an idiot. He smirked. You always say that before you stay. I didn't move. My feet felt glued to the floor. My skin was burning. My mind screamed, but my body betrayed me, again. Do you love her? I asked, voice cracking. Zion looked away. I don't know what love feels like anymore. That broke something inside me. You're going to destroy her, I said. Maybe, he whispered. Or maybe she already knows and chooses to stay blind. You're disgusting. His eyes flicked back to mine. And you're still here. I slapped him. He didn't react. Just stared at me, jaw tightening. Feel better? No then. I sat back down beside him. I didn't know why. Maybe because I was lonely. Maybe because part of me wanted to be wanted. Even like this. Even wrong. His hand returned to my thigh, slow, gentle. I didn't stop it this time. I should go, I whispered again. Then go. I didn't. We sat there, bodies close, hearts further apart than ever. The world outside his windows didn't exist. It was just this moment. This disaster I couldn't walk away from. Don't touch me again, I said, voice hollowed. He didn't move, but neither did I. I closed my eyes, and I hated the warmth I craved. You're late, Mira grinned, tugging me by the wrist into the hall. Come on, they're about to do the ring ceremony. I forced a smile. You look beautiful. She did. The blush pink dress hugged her like it had been made for her. Alone. Her hair pinned soft, her face glowing. She was the kind of woman people wrote songs about, and you look like you need champagne, she laughed, waving at a waiter. Or a nap. Both, I muttered, she didn't hear me. Or maybe she chose not to. We stood side by side as Zion walked in, flanked by his family. He wore ivory, gold accents at the cuffs. He looked too calm. Too collected. Our eyes met, hand. He smiled, I looked away. Are you okay? Mira leaned in, I nodded too fast.
Yeah.
Just tired. She squeezed my hand. Don't disappear, okay? I want you right next to me for the rest of the night. I almost asked her why. Why she'd want me close when she had no idea what I'd done. Instead, I said, always. Later. When we were alone behind the curtain near the photo booth, she held out her hand. The diamond caught the fairy lights above us. Do you like it? She asked. It's perfect. I thought he was going to propose in Bali. He was so weird the whole trip. I tried to laugh. Weird is on brand for him. She giggled. Remember in college when you said I'd end up with someone safe and boring? I remember saying that, I replied. And I was wrong. She leaned her head on my shoulder. You've always seen things in people before I do. That made my stomach turn, Mira. Do you ever wonder if people lie to us? She blinked. All the time. No, I mean, people close to us. She tilted her head. What's going on? Nothing. Just weird mood. She reached for my hand again. Whatever it is, we'll talk. Later. Not today, okay? I nodded, she squeezed. You'll always be my sister. That's when I felt it, the guilt. The weight. The fact that I hadn't confessed, hadn't screamed, hadn't run. That I was standing beside her in heels and lipstick, smiling for photos like I wasn't the crack in her foundation. I locked myself in the bathroom for 10 minutes. The mirror was too honest. I hate you, I whispered to myself. You should have said something. But I didn't, not when she called me out to dance, not when Zion's hand grazed mine as he passed me another drink, not when he leaned in to say, you clean up nice. Not even when Mira turned and gave me that smile, the one that used to mean, I see you. Now, it just hurt. Monday came like a punishment. I walked into the office half ready to fake my life again. My heels clicked too loudly on the tiles. My smile felt stretched. Farah looked up from her desk. Rough weekend? I blinked. What? You look tired. I'm fine, I replied. Thanks. She didn't push. She never did. But her eyes lingered a second too long at my desk. The air felt heavy. Emails blinked on screen. Coffee tasted burnt, then a voice behind me, too smooth, too familiar. Miss Malik, Mr. Karamat said, leaning slightly over my chair, you forgot to copy me on the Rida Holdings reply. I flinched. Oh, I said. Sorry. I'll forward it now. He stayed there a second too long. You'll stay late tonight. I need you to help me prep for Thursday's pitch. I nodded. I always did. As he walked away, I caught Farah looking. Again, she didn't smile as she didn't say a word that night. I sat on my bedroom floor. The carpet scratched against my bare legs. My makeup still on. My phone buzzed twice, both Mira, I'm still overwhelmed. But happy. So happy. You mean the world to me. Thank you for being there. I didn't reply. I stared at the ceiling, then I opened my drawer. Inside it, an old Polaroid from college. Me and Mira, tangled in blankets on her dorm bed. Pizza box half open. Our fingers making peace signs. I flipped it over. Her handwriting read, I'll never lie to you. Ever. Even if it hurts. That's what she wrote the night I told her. My father left that night. She sat with me until dawn, silent, her pinky wrapped around mine. Now I couldn't even answer her text, not because I didn't care, but because I still wanted him, and I hated myself for it. Miss Malik, Mr. Karamat called from his office. Do you have a second? I froze mid-email. Yes. Just finishing the monthly sheet. He tapped his watch. Now, please. I stood, forcing my legs to move, ignoring the tight knot in my stomach. As I stepped into his office, he shut the door. Need your thoughts on the LAM group pitch, he said, gesturing toward the files spread on his desk. You're sharper than the rest of this floor. I gave a polite smile. Thank you. You're quiet lately. I've been focused. I like that. Quiet girls get things done. I forced another smile and reached for the folder. You always wear dark colors, he said, tilting his head slightly. But black really suits your figure. My hand paused on the file. I should probably stick to the numbers. That's why I'm here, right? He didn't answer. He circled the desk and leaned on it, close, too close. His cologne wrapped around me, thick and suffocating. You've been avoiding me. No, sir. Just busy. He reached out, touching a loose strand of my hair. You don't need to be scared of me. I stepped back. I'm not. Good. His smile didn't reach his eyes. Because I've been very generous with you. I work hard. I'm not denying that, he said, voice smooth. But loyalty, that's rare. I kept my eyes on the folder. What did you want me to look at? Instead of replying, he moved again. His hand brushed mine, then lingered. I flinched. I should go, I whispered. He leaned closer. Go where? My throat tightened. I have things to finish. You're trembling, he said, touching my wrist. Relax. I'm not going to hurt you. My voice cracked. Please don't. I'm just talking to you, he said, inching closer. Is that a crime now? I pulled my hand away. I'm uncomfortable. He sighed like I was overreacting. That's not what you said when I gave you that bonus last month. I stared at him. You're misunderstanding, I whispered. His smile returned, cold, controlled. Don't cry, sweetheart. Just learn the rules. I stepped back, fumbling for the door handle. He didn't stop me. I ran straight to the bathroom. My hands shook as I turned on the faucet, not to wash them, but to drown out the sound of my own breathing. I bent over the sink. Don't cry, I mouthed to myself. Don't cry. But I did. The door creaked. Farah walked in, paused. She saw me, mascara streaked. Red eyes. Breathless. We locked eyes in the mirror. She didn't ask. She didn't say a word. She just walked into a stall and flushed the AT lunch. I sat in the back corner of the break room, stirring tea I wasn't drinking. Zion's message buzzed on my phone. Zion, haven't seen you all day. You okay, Zion? Tell me what's going on. I locked the screen. Back at my desk, my body stayed still, but my mind kept running. Would anyone believe me? He never touched me anywhere visible. He never raised his voice. It was all too quiet. Too careful. If I reported him, he'd laugh. Or worse, he'd twist it. Farah saw me and walked away. What chance did I have? That evening, I told myself I'd go straight home. Instead, I sat on the steps outside the office building, staring at the traffic, eyes blurry. Thought you left already. I turned. Hamza stood there, hands in pockets. I needed air. I said, you're pale. I'm fine. He sat beside me, silent. You ever feel like your body doesn't belong to you? I asked suddenly. He looked at me like you're just a thing, I added. People say and do things, and you're just supposed to take it. Hamza didn't speak right away. Then, what did he do? I blinked. I never said who. You didn't have to. I swallowed hard. Did he touch you? He asked softly. Yes. Hamza nodded once, jaw clenched. Why didn't you punch him? He said, because he'd twist it. Say I wanted it. Say I smiled. He looked away. I said stop, I whispered. But my voice wasn't loud enough. You said it. That's enough. No, it wasn't. It should be. That night. I didn't cry, I just laid on my bed, lights off, phone face down, not because I felt strong, but because I felt numb. That there's a difference. Do you remember that night? I asked, keeping my voice low as Zion didn't look up from his phone. Which night? I stared at him. You know which one. He set the phone down, finally meeting my eyes. The wine night? I nodded once. He shrugged. You were drunk. Nothing happened. I wasn't drunk. You don't remember? I remember everything. Silence stretched between us. You leaned in, he said finally. You kissed me. No, I whispered. You kissed me. He gave a short, humorless laugh. Does it even matter who moved first? It matters to me. He stood up, walking toward the window. Why are we dragging this out? It didn't mean anything. You said I understood you. That night. You said that to me. I say a lot of things. I felt it, I said, my voice breaking. Don't act like it was in my head. Zion turned. You want it to mean something because you're lonely. But it wasn't love, Aisha. It was confusion. I'm not confused. He tilted his head. Aren't you? I told you to stop. And you didn't. And I didn't either. He walked closer, eyes searching mine. You didn't stop me because part of you wanted it. And you didn't stop because you didn't care who it hurt. Mira never has to know. My breath caught. She will. You don't hide things forever. She's happy. Don't ruin that. I'm not the one lying to her every day. Zion's jaw tightened. You think she'd believe you over me? That hit harder than it should've. She's not stupid, I said. No, he agreed. She's just trusting. Exactly. He stepped back. I'm not doing this. Doing what? Playing guilt games. You rewrote what happened. You made a choice that night too. And I hated myself for it. He laughed again. Still came back, though. I came back because I thought maybe you regretted it. I didn't. The words landed like punches. Then why text me? Why smile at me across the room? Why touch me like, because you let me, he said simply. And I took what you gave. I blinked, stunned. He walked to the door. This conversation never happened. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. Later that night, my phone buzzed. Mira spent the whole day running between the florist and dress fittings. Wedding prep is exhausting.
Whoa.
Dizzy but worth it. The message was followed by a photo, her in his hoodie, their lips pressed together in a blurry mirror selfie. I stared at the screen, heart hollow. I didn't reply, I just sat there, the image burning in my hands. He manipulated my memory, and I let him. He twisted it so well I questioned my own mind. Maybe I did lean in first, maybe I didn't say stop loud enough, maybe I know. No, I remembered the way his hand gripped my hip. The way he whispered, she doesn't see me the way you do. And the worst part? I liked hearing it, even when I knew it was poison. The next morning, I saw him in the lobby and he nodded like nothing had changed. I walked past without blinking. Inside, I felt like screaming, but outside, I stayed quiet, because I wasn't sure anymore if I was the villain or the victim. I waited all morning for her message. Nothing. And oh, good luck with the meeting. No random meme. No, call me after lunch. I sent a simple, me, everything okay. It sat there. Delivered. Not read. By lunch, I was staring at the screen like it owed me an answer. By 3 p.m., I wasn't breathing right. By 7, I was outside her house. Her mom opened the door, surprised. Hi, I said, trying to smile. Is Mira home? She hesitated. She's resting. I just need 5 minutes. She doesn't want to see anyone right now. I blinked. She's mad at me? The woman looked away. Maybe give it a few days. What did she say? My voice cracked. She said not to open the door if it's you. The air left my lungs. I don't understand, I whispered. Her mom didn't answer. Just gently. Closed the door. That night, Zion texted Zion, she knows, that was it. 2 words and no context. No apology. No explanation. I didn't reply. I dropped my phone. Curled into myself on the bed. Stared at the ceiling until it blurred. The next morning, I couldn't eat. Couldn't speak. Couldn't think of anything except the silence that I wanted. To throw it all up, the guilt, the memories, the shame, but nothing left me. Her silence stayed in my chest like a weight. Hey, Hamza said, gently tapping my desk. You didn't touch your coffee. It's cold, I replied, barely glancing up. You've looked like a ghost all week. I'm fine. You're not. I sighed. Do you need something? He lowered his voice. I just want to know if you're okay. I'm not. I said, sharper than I meant to. He paused. Does it have to do with my brother? My head snapped up. What? Hamza's face was careful. I'm not blind. I looked away. It's not what you think. Then what is it? It's a mess. Did he hurt you? My lips parted. Closed. I didn't know what to say. Did something happen between you two? I stayed silent. That's a yes. I stood. I have work. Aisha, I can't do this right now. He stepped back. Okay. As he walked away, I whispered, I'm sorry. At home, I stared at the wall again. I picked up my phone. Typed a message. Erased it, typed again. Me, Mira, please. Talk to me. I hovered over send but didn't press it, because if she wanted to hear from me, she would have called, she would have yelled. Cried. Said something, but silence? Silence meant she already decided what I was to her now. Nothing. 3 days passed, then 5, then TENNO calls. No texts. No knock on my door, just silence, and that silence screamed louder than anything she could have said. I ran into Ronnie at the store that Sunday. You look pale, she said. You okay? Did you talk to Mira lately? I asked. She paused. She didn't tell you? My throat tightened. Tell me what? She postponed the wedding. The world tilted. What? She said she needed space. Because of me? I didn't ask. Thought you knew. I grabbed a bag of cereal just to keep my hands from shaking. She won't answer me, I said quietly. Ronnie nodded slowly. She must be really hurt. I closed my eyes. She was. I knew it, and I couldn't blame her. That night, I wrote Mira a letter I never sent. Mira, I was weak. And selfish. I should have told you the truth the minute it happened. But I didn't want to lose you. So I lost you anyway. When I finished, I folded it, sealed it, and put it in a drawer. I didn't burn it, not yet, because part of me still hoped she'd come back, even if it was just to say
Goodbye.
I saw her outside the cafe near campus. Mira. Same long braid. Same soft coat she used to lend me when I forgot mine. She looked up. And didn't look away. Damn, wide legs moved before my brain decided. Mira, I breathed. She didn't flinch. Didn't blink. Just stared like she was waiting to feel something that never came. I didn't plan it. That night. I wasn't thinking straight. She nodded once. Not agreement. Just acknowledgement. I thought I was holding it together, I added. But I wasn't. Her mouth tightened. So you broke me too? I didn't mean to. You were my person, Aisha. Her voice didn't crack. That almost hurt more. You were supposed to protect me from people like him. Not become one. I was broken. And now what? Do you feel whole again? No, I stepped closer. Not even close. Her arms stayed crossed. You didn't even tell me. I had to see it in his eyes every time I said your name. I hated myself. I still do. You know what hurts, she whispered. Not that it happened. Not even that it was with him. But that you looked me in the eye for weeks, and stayed silent. My throat tightened. I thought if I could pretend it didn't happen, maybe it wouldn't matter. She looked away. It mattered. I know. Silence stretched, I reached forward, arms shaky. Hugged her, she didn't hug me back, she didn't push me away either. I stepped back, eyes blurry. Thank you for hearing me. She didn't answer, but as I turned to go, I felt lighter. Not forgiven. Just less poisoned. The next day at work, Hamza found me in the hallway by the vending machine. They're investigating Mr. Karamat, he said quietly. I looked up. What? Anonymous report. Very detailed. With screenshots. My heartbeat faltered. It wasn't me. I didn't say it was. He paused. Farah's been different lately. Quiet, but bold. I blinked. She did it? I didn't say that either. His mouth curved faintly. But, sometimes justice needs a little nudge. What happens now? They asked him to take an indefinite leave. I exhaled slowly. I thought you should know, he added. In case you wanted to breathe easier today. I looked at him, really looked. Thank you. For what? For believing me. Even when I didn't say a word. He nodded. Sometimes, silence says enough. That evening, I heard Zion's name again. At a party I didn't want to be at. Someone muttered, he's back on dating apps. That was fast. Another voice, guess the engagement fell through. Didn't she catch him cheating or something? I sipped my water, didn't blink, didn't comment, because some victories don't need clapping. I did text him, once to me, you ruined everything. But I let you. He never replied. That was fine as silence was starting to feel like closure. Farah passed me in the hallway a few days later. Her eyes flicked to mine, just for a second. Then she kept walking. I called out, hey. She stopped. Turned slightly, you okay? I asked, she gave a small nod. Better now? I smiled. Me too. I kept waiting for the rage to settle somewhere. For it to land on someone. It never landed on Murad. I forgave her. Quietly. Without her asking, because she never owed me anything after what I broke, but Zion, he would carry the weight of what he shattered, and every rumor that cracked his perfect image? I didn't deny them, didn't confirm them either, just let the silence speak, let karma do the rest. Sometimes, healing didn't feel like triumph. It felt like knowing I wouldn't cry over him again. The cafe was unfamiliar. New city. New street. New me. But she was the same. Murad. I froze mid-step when I saw her. She was sitting by the window, reading. That same calm tilt to her head, like the world could fall and she'd still breathe steady. I stood in line behind two students. Ordered a black coffee I didn't need. My hands weren't shaking this time. When I turned, our eyes met. No smile. No glare. Just stillness. I walked to the far end of the cafe. Sat where I could still see her but not be seen trying. She didn't look away, but she didn't come over either. Minutes passed. She packed up her bag slowly. Buttoned her coat. Picked up her cup, and walked out. No nod. No wave, nothing, but that nothing didn't break me. It built something that night. My phone buzzed. Zion, I miss the way you saw me. I stared at it. I didn't miss him. Not even his lies. What I missed was the version of me who hadn't yet touched poison and thought it was love. I locked the screen. New city looks good on you, Hamza had said before I left. I had smiled. Fresh air. No ghosts. He had hesitated. And work? I start next week. Aisha, I'll be okay. I know, he said. That's why it's hard to let you go. My new apartment had sunlight that spilled onto the floors. Like forgiveness, the job, smaller company. Mostly women. When I spoke in meetings, people nodded. Wrote things down. Listened to No1 hovered. No one stared too long. One afternoon, my manager patted my shoulder and said, good job. I flinched, then saw the look in her eyes. Just encouragement. Nothing else. For the first time, I didn't shrink. There was a letter I'd written weeks ago. Folded neatly. Never sent to IT. Started with, Mira, I wish I could take it back. It ended with a you were my friend, until silence became your choice. I read it again. One last time, then lit a match, held the corner of the envelope over the sink, watched the flames curl into each word, watched it turn black. Then ash, some part of me dissolved with it. I went to therapy once a week. Damn, my therapist, Layla, was calm-eyed and sharp-witted. You're grieving something no one died from, she said once. I think I died. A little. Did you stay dead? No then. Maybe this is your rebirth. Sometimes, I still dreamed about Mira, her laugh. The way she'd throw popcorn at me when I spoiled movie endings, but her voice never came in those dreams. She just looked at me, quiet. Heavy. One night, I walked by a bookstore. There was a journal in the window. Gold spine. A pressed flower cover. I went in and bought it. A first page, I am not who I was. And that's okay. Zion messaged again. Zion, just tell me if you hate me. I didn't reply that he didn't deserve a verdict from me. His story was already unraveling. Myra's Instagram went private. Her name stopped popping up on my feed. I think that's when I knew for sure she wasn't watching me anymore, and I stopped watching her. Farah messaged me once. Farah, they fired him. After the third girl came forward, I replied, thank you. She texted back, I should have asked if you were okay. That day in the restroom, I typed, you did. Just, not out loud. She didn't reply. That didn't need to. My new favorite cafe was run by a woman named Noor. She remembered my order by the third visit. Rough day, she asked once. Old ghosts.
Ah.
I used to burn letters. I blinked. What? She laughed. Long story. Fire cleanses. I smiled.
Yeah.
It does. I met someone months later, not the kind of story that rushes. That he offered me the window seat. Laughed softly. Didn't touch my hand until I reached for his. I didn't tell him everything, but when he said, you're easy to be around, I didn't shrink away from the compliment. I just said, thanks. And meant it. One rainy night, I stood at the window with my tea. The city lights blinked like lullabies. I said her name out loud, Mira. Not in anger, just to let it echo one last time. She didn't say
Goodbye.
Didn't explain. Didn't scream, but the last thing she said was nothing, and maybe that silence was what saved me.